So back in the old days when I still lived in Puerto Rico, this is the first time I ever heard about this person. There's a song that came out called Goldie. That was the first time I ever heard the name Kanye West. Now, the song was kind of catchy, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay much attention to it. More importantly, I don't know how it works in the US, but I do know that in Puerto Rico, when there's a certain word that starts with the letter N, they go ahead and they censor the word. So I didn't even know that word was in this song until I came to the US and I heard the uncensored version. But anyway, for some reason, as much as I liked the song, something about the song just bothered me and I couldn't figure out why. Of course, when I was doing the research for this video and I came across the lyrics, I realized that this is the most misogynist, horrible song you could ever write. And, well, now I understand why so many black women have an issue with Kanye West. Leaving that aside for a second, that is not the first time he's ever done something that is kind of weird towards his own community. And I wanted that to be the preamble to what I'm about to tell you. Hi, my name is Roxana, this is Metamorphosis Rocks, and today we're talking about one specific issue that took over the entire last week, and that is the demolition of the billions on Kanye West. Now, mind you, I don't really think he had billions. I think he had millions. But it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not because he is claiming to be a conservative. It's not because he wants to have a church and whatnot. I don't care about any of that stuff. My issue with him is that he first told people that slavery was a choice. Now, in case you don't know, slavery is not a U.S. issue only, and I'm talking about the recent example of slavery, as in Africans being sold to British or Spaniards to bring to the New World, okay? That is an issue that took over the entire Americas from north to south. And if you're Latino, you probably have African blood in you. If you're American, you might have African blood in you. The bottom line is this. I take offense to the idea that slavery was a choice, and when people look at my skin color, they go, well, you don't have an opinion. The hell I do. I have every right to have an opinion. And if you saw my family, you would understand why. Anyway, I don't have to explain myself to you. I have a right to have an opinion on anything. And that's a topic for another comment. But anyway, going back to him, he then went on to talk about how he put in doubt the way George Floyd died. And this whole time, all these companies kept giving him money and giving him contracts and whatnot. But then came the day when he decided to make anti-Semitic comments, and all of a sudden, everybody dropped him. Here's my issue with this, and it's not that they dropped him. They should have dropped him years ago. The reason why I have an issue is because of something I posted on a tweet. It isn't that he got dropped. It's why he got dropped. It's after he made anti-Semitic comments because everybody started pushing for it. And, you know, we can get into the conversation of whether the black community is not as tight as it should be in order to make change like the change in this situation, as opposed to the Jewish community, which is very strong and very capable of organizing and basically taking someone out of their millions. But here's my issue, and this is my observation. In terms of American corporations, I can't speak for any corporation anywhere else, but businesses doing business in the United States, they live under two fallacies. Fallacy number one is that African Americans don't have any bargaining power, and fallacy number two is that the Jewish have all the bargaining power. That is, neither one of those things is necessarily true. However, that's irrelevant. The idea that some person, I don't care how big and how famous you are, can come out and say misinformation and get a pass over and over again is atrocious. This man has always spoken ill of African American women. He then moved on to the entire African American community. And then when he got busted and the George Floyd family decided to sue his behind, all of a sudden he made this crappy apology to the African American community, or to the black community, I should say, claiming that, oh, I know I hurt them, but, you know, it took what Adidas did to me and what the media did to me. Nobody did anything to him. He did it to himself. That's one. Number two, going with one, he took no accountability because, again, he blamed the media and he blamed Adidas and he blamed everybody else because he's losing millions. And number three, how dare you compare somebody losing their life to you losing money? You're still alive. You still have some sort of talent that people find interesting. I don't. But you can still make your money back if you actually have some sort of growth or some sort of change. Now, there's a lot of people that automatically go with the, oh, well, you know, he has mental illness, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that can be true. That doesn't make you a bigot or racist or a misogynist. Those two things could be true at the same time, which means you're still a terrible person. You just happen to be a terrible person with a mental illness. So no, I'm not going to accept that excuse. But more importantly, right after, on the heels of him apologizing to the black community, he went ahead in the same breath and started blaming the Jewish community for more things, including the fact that he was misdiagnosed when he went to take care of his mental health. I'm beyond baffled by this whole rhetoric. And then, of course, because it never fails, bigots will bigot. People are starting to claim Kanye was right and use Kanye to promote their agenda, dividing the Jewish community from the black community, even though there's a lot of black people that happen to be Jewish. And I'm talking about both faith and nationality, because we have to remember, being Jewish is both a race or an ethnicity, whatever you want to call it, and a religion. It's both things. So I watched this whole thing, and then of course the icing on the cake, if you want to call it that, he decided to endorse Herschel Walker today. I don't know if that's a paid endorsement. I don't care. Bottom line is that he lost all this money, and now people are even doing GoFundMes for him, which I talked about in another comment. And the reality is this, and I wish people would actually sit down for a second, sat back and thought about this. Why are we promoting, defending, whatever you want to call it, these rich, entitled, mediocre people? I have never understood the fascination with Kanye West. I don't think he's a genius. I think there's thousands of musicians that are better than him. I think there's tons of people that are better than him in terms of the quality of his music, and those two things are not the same. You can be a good musician and just not compose good music, okay? Which is what I'm talking about. And of course, the last thing that I wanted to add is, because I noticed some people were like, well, you know, his mom died. His mom died years ago. His mom would be pissed at him right now. She would be slapping the crap out of him right now, because everything he's saying goes against everything she taught. As far as I know. I might be wrong. But the bottom line for me is this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, because I know people are going to come at this and go, well, you're not black, so you can't talk about it. Yeah, I'm not doing that politically correct crap for you. And the reason why I'm not doing that for you is for two reasons. Number one, I honestly believe that I don't care what race, ethnicity, gender, whatever you are. If you're doing something wrong, you deserve to be called out by everybody, not just the people in your community. And number two, and more importantly, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot be okay with people that talk and say things about your community that you agree with, and then get mad at people that say things that you don't agree with. If you want people to not talk about your community, then nobody except for you can talk about your community. And since that's not going to happen, I'm just going to say whatever I have to say. And May the chips fall where they may. I personally believe, and I believe this in my entire life, that when something is wrong, you call it out. And I really don't care if he's a man, if he's black, if he's a millionaire, if he's dead broke. I don't really care. If you do something bad, you need to be called out by everybody. And I understand that there's black people that are going to disagree with me. I'm sorry you disagree. I'm not sorry for my opinion, because to me, I'm right. This man is doing more damage to your community than he's doing any good. In fact, he's doing more damage to all of us than any good. And that's not even talking about the religion side of it, because if I get into that, we'll be here for half an hour. Anyway, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.